These are all of the arcs or advanced reader copies that I finished in March. The second arc that I completed in March was called The Felicity Complex by August Clark. I really enjoyed this book. It's a post-apocalyptic book, but it starts during the Cold War period in the US, and it kind of ends, well, quite a bit later, but I won't give that away, I guess. So it's kind of a mix of dystopian but historical in a sense. So basically, you have the war between the communists and the USA, and they're in this technology battle. And one of the almost byproducts of the experiments and a lot of the work that they're doing ends up being these women specimen that they create that can really just outlive atomic bombs and atomic annihilation. So they end up using these, I think it's 7 women, to become hosts at luxury underground bunkers. And so they're put into this bunker that's called a Felicity Complex, and they basically have to learn how to be people and how to interact with people and really wait on this elite once the war hits and atomic annihilation happens. But it's really interesting because each of the characters are meant to depict a certain archetype of womanhood that you would consider the American dream, or, these American values that they want to preserve, even though the dirty communists are like trying to take over or whatever. So it's really interesting to see the characters. It's really interesting to see their development throughout the story. And it's also really unique because our narrator is a bit of an airhead. She's a little bit all over the place. So she's not really in on a lot of things, or she doesn't really grasp a lot of things, which means that there are a ton of things that seem really inconspicuous or seem pretty, you know, like our character, like our narrator is like, oh, that's so innocent, whatever. But as a reader, you're reading it and you're like, yo, that's bad, like that's messed up. And so what I really like about this book is that there's a lot that's left to the imagination and there's a lot that's left off page, which is really interesting because it's almost like you as a person, you reflect what you think about people or what people have done to you in a way of understanding what happens off the page, which I thought is really unique. And I think it's a really interesting way to engage a character more, sorry, to engage a reader more, because it feels like it's more interactive in that sense, but it also feels like you can decide what happens to some of these characters, or you can decide what happens off the pages, which I think is really cool. And I think that's really unique. And it's not always done very well. So I think that this was executed really well. I really enjoyed this book. Again, I'm not quite sure when it's coming out, so I'll add the release date on screen somewhere, but I highly, highly recommend that you buy a copy of this book. I really, really, really enjoyed it. It's lesbian too, okay? It's sapphic, guys. Come on, buy it.